Hello, everyone, and welcome to Daily Grace with Pastor James. So glad you're joining me in this episode. Today it's a special episode, and we have a wonderful brother, a pastor with us. This weekend we had a wonderful seminar, Leadership and Wealth Forum, and we've just concluded that, and so we are just coming to talk a little bit about it. Please join me in welcoming Pastor Otoru Briggs. Thank you so much, Pastor Otoru. And once again, I just want you to tell our audience a little bit about yourself, and then we'll take it from there.
Okay, thank you very much, Pastor James. It's been a privilege and an honor to be part of this wonderful leadership empowerment weekend, and I thank God for the grace of God upon your life to put this in place. And I think in terms of the whole program itself, I give God the glory that you have the wisdom to direct and empower people, and the opportunity to also get me on board to do this. And I think in terms of who I am, I'm Pastor Otoru Briggs, and I have a background in finance, and I've been in the financial industry for about 25 years now or more. I've worked across investment banking, asset management, commercial banking, and I've gone into consulting as well. I've got a wealth of experience both within the commercial environment and business environment. And together with my wife, I run several businesses. We're very much in the childcare space. We've gone into real estate business as well, and we're also venturing into other business areas just to increase our streams of income. And by His grace, I've come in this weekend to also pass on my wisdom to those that would have made themselves available to benefit from it.
Thank you so much. And I mean, your session was quite insightful from what I gather from our people, and that the things you gave to them, I just want to believe that they will not only be hearers of it, but they'll also be doers of it. Now, do you want to also tell us from another perspective, what do you think about the whole arrangement, the people, and the setup in total of the training?
Yeah, I think it's a full pack training, and I've also come to learn myself with the speakers you've brought on board, Pastor Dupe and Pastor Adedeji. They are all great speakers, and sometimes even when you pull speakers together, if you don't have an audience, and then there's no value to pass.
Yeah.
And I think the audience were very much engaging. They look like people that were hungry. I think the Word of God says is the hunger of man, the hunger of man that drives him.
Yeah.
And I can see people who are driven for success. And I can actually assess that based on the kind of questions they were asking. When I was giving my sessions on building wealth, the follow-up questions made a lot of difference. It shows they are interested and they have value in what you've set up to do. And I think that in itself is an encouragement to me and makes me realize that the time spent is not wasted.
Good.
And I can see that at the end of the day, intentionality has been built and they'll be driving with it. And I just want to encourage others who are listening that you need to be intentional in what you want to do. And your hunger for success is a great motivation to achieve what you want to achieve in life.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the thing you talked about was actually wealth, creating wealth beyond your salary, which is actually a very good topic. Just for the benefit again of our audience and people who did not attend to this training, do you want to just give us a bit of a snippet on some of the things that you told the participants today?
Yeah, that's a good question, and just to give some benefits to people. And I think one of the major highlights of the whole talk is that you need to be willing to go out of your comfort zone.
Yes.
You need to change the way you see things. You need to be very positive minded. And as Christians, that's the driving force. God expects us to do things because He's empowered us. He's the one that gives us the power to make wealth. And looking at the fact that a lot of us can be very comfortable with our salaries, and the whole session was built around going out of that comfort zone. One of the statements that I did make was that your salary does not take you home.
No.
It's just there to meet your
bills.
basic everyday requirements. But in terms of creating wealth, you need to go above.
Yeah.
And one of the guidance I give to them, if you've got your salary, learn to save the surplus. And once you have that surplus, over time, save that surplus, it compounds and creates an additional value, which you can now reinvest in business. And I said, well, if you're going to invest in business, you need to do a lot of due diligence. You need to understand the business you're getting involved with. You need to understand the skill set that is required for it. If you're not skillful in that area, you need to engage people who are professionals in that area, people who have experience in those areas, so that you don't make mistakes. When you're taking risk, there are likelihood that things will still go wrong because risk cannot be completely eliminated, but you want to manage it to a great extent.
Yes.
And that's where your due diligence comes into play. So if you're investing into something, speak with people, get guidance. I want to do this. I want to get guidance from your pastor, get guidance from professionals. I want to put my money into something. What advice do you have to give to me? I want to speak to someone to partner into a business. What advice are you going to give to me in terms of that partnership? It's always good to ask questions because wisdom is always available. It's like a city gate. If you ask questions, it will be made available to you. So ask questions so that when you're making investment decisions, you are making the right decisions. And even if when it goes wrong, you're satisfied that
you put in your best.
You put in your best.
Yeah.
But just don't spend that salary. Set it aside. Buy a business. Start a business from scratch. Lots of opportunities. There's a lot of knowledge base or database online that I could use to research all sorts of business, understand the regulatory requirement, understand the business strategy, upskill where you need to upskill, and just start from somewhere. And you always need to know that there is always going to be a risk. But by God's grace and your counseling, well, the Bible even tells us, in a multitude of counselors, wisdom is there. So you get wisdom from engaging with a lot of people, and they will help build some structure into your businesses. But just don't be comfortable with the salary, because the job will not always be there. And then if you are, in terms of legacy, what are you going to pass to your children? And you're not going to pass them your job.
No.
You're going to be passing them some wealth. Wealth that has been generated over time through wise investment decisions.
Wonderful, wonderful. And the thing with us, again, as human beings, especially people from our area, they look at business as something that is extremely risky. And growing up, we were told that your returns will be proportional to your risk level.
Yes.
So the higher the risk, the higher the returns.
Yes.
And so if you actually want to create wealth, you would need to build your risk capacity, right? What would you tell our audience when it comes to risk taking? And of course, we want them to take reasonable risk.
Yes.
But what one advice will you give to them to ensure that they don't just abandon everything because they're afraid?
Yes. So I think even in the finance world, based on my financial experience, that even when you are investing into financial assets, you will always be guided through balanced investments, growth investments. When you're doing a growth investment, it's more aggressive, more volatile, likely to go wrong, but balanced, which is a mixture of safe assets and high-risk assets. So even in the investment world, the investors always, financial advisors always tell you, you need to have a balance of risk. You don't just want to wake up in the morning and then take all your savings to buy 100% stocks. It's risky. You want to put some money in treasury bills, you want to put some money in bonds, you want to get that balance, put some money in equity so that you're balanced, so that even if something goes wrong, then you have a buffer. And that applies to business as well. If you have a job and you just don't quit your job to go and start a business, you go bit by bit. You begin to try into little bits, take some of your savings, put in some of the business, monitor it, see how it grows while it's not impacting your major source of income. And over time, as it's accumulating and getting value and getting stronger, then you can get to the point where, when you get to the point where it's beginning to take care of your expenses, then you can now step down from your original job.
Yes.
You just don't wake up in the morning and say, no, I'm quitting my 9-to-5 job and I want to put all my savings to an investment. No. It's a step at a time. Little drops of water will make an ocean.
Absolutely.
So it's a step at a time.
Right. Thank you so much, Pastor Otoru, for being with us today. and then we've actually gained a lot from you. And of course, I also know that my audience have. And please, if this has blessed you, do share it to others so that they can also benefit from it. Once again, thank you very much for listening to us in this episode, and we'll see you in the next episode. Bye.
A pleasure. Thank you, sir.